Good morning, students. Today's topic is assessment, the evaluation devices. The process of education includes three major divisions, that is, first, formulation of objectives, second, designing learning experiences for achievement of objectives, assessing the outcomes of education. Now, we will discuss how to assess the outcomes of teaching. History assessment and evaluation is an important part of educational system. Evaluation indicates all kinds of efforts and means to ascertain the quality, value, and effectiveness of desired outcomes. Evaluation involves three steps. First, identification and formulation of objectives. Secondly, their definition in terms of pupil behavior, that is, what changes do we expect in the child by each one of those objectives? Thirdly, construction of valid, reliable, and practical instruments for observing the specific phases of pupil behavior, such as knowledge, information, skills, attitudes, and appreciations, etc. For effective evaluation program, a teacher must know certain things. He must have knowledge about the objectives of history subject as a whole and of specific unit. The relationship between objectives, learning experiences, and evaluation. Next, the various purposes of evaluation like diagnostic, guidance, grading classification, etc. Next, the theory and practice of measurement. Next, the techniques and tools of evaluation, their preparation and uses. Next, then at last, the follow-up procedure to utilize the feedback in the classroom. For classroom teaching, the course of the subject is divided into units or topics. For each unit or topic, specific objectives are formulated. Each objective contains, firstly, content specification, and secondly, competence specifications. According to this specification, the teacher uses various methods, various techniques, and various devices to achieve desired learning outcomes. The techniques used by a teacher are oral test, essay test, short answer test, and objective test. Now, look at the oral test. Oral test in history provides an opportunity to test a student's independent thinking. With help of different types of questions, the students can exercise his or his own thinking, and if the student gives an incomplete answer in the classroom, the same can be completed by another question. The spot correction is also possible. Thus, oral tests can be used for testing the ability to recall the facts. Again, another procedure is to get the question written on separate cards. The students may draw out one card from the bunch and he can take a few minutes for getting the answer. Thirdly, another oral test can be done by active participation in class debate and discussion. There are some limitations of oral tests, such as it is time consuming, it is subjective, and in judging on the spot is an imperfect measuring device. Now come to second type of test, that is essay type tests. Essay type test is an attempt to measure the student's ability in recalling and using their learning experiences. They have to interpret, organize, describe, and think creatively. In essay type tests, they have to compare and contrast, explain, discuss, develop, summarize, evaluate, arrange, select, define, illustrate, interpret, and criticize. Limitations of essay type tests are, it includes many irrelevant factors such as language, spelling, handwriting, etc. Secondly, inaccuracy in marking. Thirdly, it is a time-consuming process in answering and evaluating. Now come to third type of test, that is short answer type. The purpose of short answer type question is to test a large amount of knowledge, abilities, and understanding within a short time. In this type of test, the demand of the question is very specific. Language does not play an important part in the answer. Scoring is more objective than the essay type test. Scoring key or rating scale can be used. Now, the last type of test is objective tests. Objective tests enable the teacher to measure the achievement of their pupils in a short time. Scoring procedure is easy in objective tests. The merits of objective tests are, it is extensive sampling. A large number of questions can be answered in a short period. Secondly, objectivity of scoring. That means these tests only admit one correct response, which eliminates subjectivity in both answering and scoring. Thirdly, minimum use of language. Fourthly, it is time saving. Answering and scoring can be done rapidly. Fifthly, it minimizes rote memory. And the last point is elimination of bluffing. There are certain limitations also in this type of tests. Those are, number 1, unsuitable for cause and effect relationship and appreciation of principles and ideas. Secondly, they do not help in showing pupils' general understanding of the facts, organization, and formulation of his knowledge. Thirdly, there is more scope for malpractice. Fourth, there is chance of guessing. Thus, these tests need proper construction and administrations. The objective type tests are of various types, such as Number 1, multiple choice. The question is followed by 4 options. The student is to select only one correct answer. The objectives may be knowledge-based, understanding-based, and of critical thinking. Second type is true, false, and yes or no type questions. Here, a number of statements are given and the pupil is required to write T or F and Y or N against them. Third type is completion type. The pupils are suggested to complete the answer in filling proper names, dates, years, etc. Then fourth type is sequence of events. In this type of tests, certain items are to be arranged in chronological order. Fifth type of test is matching tests. In matching tests, two lists of items are presented without any order. The pupils have to match items from one list with the appropriate items of the other list. The next is classification test. This type of test can be utilized with advantage in testing knowledge of historical facts. Next, relationship test. In this type of test, the relationship between two things is asked. It is meant to test understanding. The next is recall type. Recall type is mainly knowledge tests such as who, which, where, and when type of questions are included in this type of test. Next is testing skills, like arranging the events on timeline. Secondly, indicating the extent of the empire during their ruling. Thirdly, to show the major routes of trade both on land and sea through India or abroad. The next type of test is testing application of knowledge. For example, what does India need to learn from the people of America? So these are different types of tests, that is objective tests. Now come to how we can design a good test in history, or criteria. What are the criteria of a good test? First criteria is objective, and these questions should have validity. Second criteria is content. Content should be based on a topic or subtopic. Third, form. Test designer should select proper form, that is essay, short answer, or objective. What type of question he wants to give. Then next is wording. Questions should be clear and unambiguous. In the clear-cut words should be used. Then next is difficulty level. Questions should not be neither too easy or too difficult. Next point is time allotment. The time should be adequate. Then last point is scoring. Scoring should be judicious. So these are some of the important criteria of good tests. Then how to design a question paper. Before designing a question paper, decisions regarding the following should be taken. What should be the weightage of objectives? Then what should be the weightage to contents, then weightage to form of questions, then weightage to difficulty level. So there are certain steps for preparation of question paper. Preparation of the design first. Preparation of the design, then second, preparation of a blueprint. Third, construction of question according to blueprint. Fourth, arrangement of question according to objective, content or form. Fifth, preparation of scoring key. So these are some important points for making evaluation devices, which are of two types, written and oral. So this is some techniques of assessment. Thank you.